It is the press as we're about to start our discussion this morning, and I did tell you that our topic will be taken. In fact, virtually all the papers this morning carried our main core topic of focus this morning, and taken from the Nigerian Tribune, it says economic wickedness. TUC threatens strike as it describes a proposed 5% tax on petroleum products as a wicked act by the federal government of Nigeria. Now, the Trade Union Congress of Nigeria, TUC, has issued a 14-day ultimatum to the federal government to withdraw its planned 5% tax on petroleum products or face a total nationwide strike. Now, the Congress described the proposed tax as an act of economic wickedness that will further impoverish Nigerians already groaning under the weight of subsidy removal, inflation, and a battered economy. The union warned that it will not hesitate to mobilize Nigerian workers, civil society, and other progressive forces to resist the move through mass action if the tax is not immediately scrapped. The Trade Union Congress of Nigeria outrightly rejects the federal government's planned 5% tax on petroleum products. This reckless proposal is nothing but an act of economic wickedness against already overburdened Nigerians, this statement reads. So on the show this morning, I am glad to let you know that my guests are here, like I told you, and let me do the introduction. My first guest is Paul Abhulimen. He is a legal practitioner and social affairs analyst. He is a lawyer recognized for his expertise in commercial dispute resolution, and we're so glad to have him here. He's also a human rights activist. Paul, it's so nice to have you on the press this morning.
Thank you very much. I'm glad to be here.
Thank you. Okay, aside Paul this morning, I have Umar Lamin, Yalleman. Is also a social and political affairs analyst with over 15 years of experience. Is also a human rights activist. Umar, I beg your pardon, it's so nice to have you on the press this morning.
Thank you for
Gentlemen, I appreciate your patience and I appreciate your time for being on the show.
Thank you.
So the topic this morning is plain. The whole problem started yesterday. In fact, the oil petroleum products is not something that is new to Nigerians, but this is a different type of new with the federal government proposed 5% tax on petroleum products, and of course the TUC threatening nationwide protest if the federal government does not withdraw this new order that it is planning. Again, it is important as Nigerians for us to talk about issues that affect us because the issues that affect one obviously affect all. In a time where you hear statements like the rich also cry, you would wonder what the poor is going through. We know what we face in the nation. Insecurity is there. High cost of living hasn't changed. And most of the time, when you go to the markets, the traders will tell you and complain about the high cost of transportation. And there is no way, in my own submission, that this latest proposed 5% tax on petroleum products will not affect directly or indirectly the economy and, of course, the Nigerian masses. So we need to talk about these issues. I'm going to start with Paul this morning. And like I usually do, when you see certain headlines, they are so shocking that you take a moment, in your quiet time to think about them. I would want your emotion on this from the top, seeing this latest proposal by the federal government to add in a 5% tax on petroleum products, your reaction from the top when you actually heard or read these headlines this morning.
Yeah, good morning once again. When I read the headline, it's quite a clickbait, like economic wickedness looks very big, but sadly that's the reality of things. The hike in petroleum, if there's going to be a tax on petroleum, it's going to affect every sector of the economy, especially, and the economic power now of the Nigerian is very weak. Prices at an all-time high. The Naira is collapsing and rising and collapsing again. And then fuel, for instance, trickles down all the economic indices in Nigeria from the small and medium entrepreneur. So if a hike in that sector would definitely affect the entire sector. That does not mean that the government doesn't have some point supporting the proposal, but I agree with the TUC, it's an economic wickedness.
Umar, you've heard Paul. I also want your reaction. You know, waking up to see this, and of course, like I said, it's like a clickbait. The TUC is saying it's economic wickedness, directing that to the federal government. And the picture it paints is like a government that doesn't have or feel the pulse of the people, a government that is probably not listening, you know, to what is being said by citizens, a government that appears to be clueless about the present situation of the economy, and of course how it affects the Nigerian citizens, those that they were elected to protect, to serve, as it were. Again, I would want your emotion seeing the headlines, you know, about the proposed 5% tax on petroleum products, how you took it, how you felt when you actually saw that.
Okay, all right. Thank you, Mr. Anire, for having me. So this issue is very, very disturbing issue. I really disappointed by the statement of the government. They are going to increase the levy of 5% on petroleum product, even though now all Nigerians, we are still in the shock of fuel increase or fuel subsidy removal, because it affects all our activities in this country, from transportation sector to small businesses to the livelihood to everything. So another increasing or introducing another levy, which is hiding under tax reform bill, because this tax reform bill, there is no any specification on this levy. Because what I think, if this levy has already been introduced or known to all Nigerians, there's definitely a larger discussion on it. But I'm feeling so much disappointed by the government for introducing another levy to Nigerians after we are still struggling to survive under this intensive pressure of subsidy removal.
Paul, I'm coming back to you as we begin to take a look at the impact of this. You are a legal practitioner. There's no way I'm not going to ask you somewhere down the line the legal implication of this, you know, in between. But again, this is a critical time for Nigerians, you would agree, from electricity to, of course, you talked about the tariff being the removal of petroleum subsidy. Nigerians have said over and over again that they do not actually see the effect of what the federal government is saying in terms of the removal of subsidy. As the layman who we are, I don't know about you, I happen to be one of those in that category. Let us take a look at the impact of this latest proposal by the federal government, the far-reaching effect on all the sectors that you've mentioned. We need to try as much as possible with the time we have to break this down. And this is why we're here, and that is where I want us to go now. The critical impact in the face of gripping poverty in the land, inflation in the land, and of course a host of other problems. Again, I spoke about insecurity, as it were, and these are issues that you know, that stare us in the eye. We're yet to get a balance of all of that, and now and again we just keep seeing situations like this, like the federal government or those in power do not really understand what's on ground. So let us take a look at the impact of what this will have on the Nigerian economy and of course other sectors, as it were.
Yeah, on a fixed value, the tax reform, as in the Tax Administration Act that was signed by the president, seemed to be a good initiative, because most countries in the world are actually taxing petroleum products to make way for people to see other viable means of energy, like renewable energy and all that, CNG. But however, the problem with Nigerian policy in this case is lack of accountability and timing. The timing is definitely wrong. Just less than about 2 years ago, the subsidy was removed on petroleum products, Now, most Nigerians will ask, where is the money? Why don't we use those money? And now you are bringing in a new tax and policy to tax Nigeria on, say, petroleum. You know, it's not really a tax on the petroleum. Most people, it's a tax on our survival. It's a tax on our living. You know, it's a tax on our survival. Now, most Nigerians don't trust the government that they are accountable for the money already collected. You know, before this administration came in, a lot of money was supposed to be going to the subsidy, and now it has been removed. Most Nigerians, I can say most Nigerians cannot categorically say this is where the subsidy removal have touched their life. Now, bringing additional burden is obviously a wicked act. You know, we don't have safety nets. If this, maybe say we're copying many international countries are already having this tax. Those countries have safety nets for their citizens. They have public transportation that you don't even need to use your cars anymore, but we don't have that. The public transportation in Nigeria, in Abuja for instance, is next to nothing. Most routes are not plied by the public transport, and even if those are being plied, they are running on these expensive petroleum products. Where the alternative, the CNG that was promised, is not visible. You know, if you go to any CNG queue, it's not easily accessible. The lines are long. There are no kits. Where are the safety nets? I think the policy at this point is very ill-timed and should be reconsidered.
You know, Umar, as a woman, you know, the thing that is going through my mind right now when I saw this was, oh my God, that means once I get to the market, believe me, by now, they're holding their meetings at the market right now, even before this goes into mainstream. I know prices definitely would have changed. What I bought at the market this weekend, I assure you, is not what I'm going to get, because while I was coming to work, I was listening on the radio, one of the sister stations. They were talking about this particular topic, and I mean the colors coming in, you would think that in fact they've already added the 5%. They've already added the 5%. It's not something that's going to start maybe next year or thereabouts. They've already added it, and you know, Nigerians, we lack the proper information. But do you blame them? Because we do not even get the information, the correct information, from the source where this comes from. Nigerians are not carried along. We just wake up in the mornings, and in the morning rather, and we see this on the front pages of the papers, and we expect it to just, you know, accept whatever is thrown at us. Now, Paul has talked about safety nets, which is another thing. If you recall, the removal of subsidy was at a speech being given by the president, the first speech, the inaugural speech to Nigerians, and in a few hours there was total shutdown economically. Prices went off the roof. Everything went south, I'm telling you, going by what we have experienced as Nigerians. So, no, again, what Nigerians complained about was no safety net, no proper planning. How important is it for the federal government to avail us with safety nets? Let us carry us along with information before we see them on the front pages of our papers. Let us know what is being planned, and of course the provision of safety nets, so we are not choked, you know, beyond what we can bear. Safety nets.
Yeah, this is not only issue of safety net. The major concern is why introducing another taxes for Nigerians. All
right.
The first one, you have already removed subsidy, and the people are still struggling to survive under that subsidy removal. And now there is another introduction of new levy, 5% of petroleum product. Like what Paul has said already, all Nigerians, all our activities depend on petroleum product. When there is any increase in petroleum prices or price, definitely it will affect all our economic activities. See, this 5% levy, it will affect workers. It will affect transport operators. It will affect small businesses. It will affect ordinary Nigerians.
Landlords will increase their rents.
Because ordinary Nigerians who are struggling to survive, it will affect them. So that is why the major concern here is that it's not about only safety net. What the government have promised last time after removing subsidy, they said that they will provide safety net for Nigeria. Why is the safety net? They will provide CNG cars, they will provide palliatives and all kind of promises. They are not up to standard. What my argument here is that this levy is something which will nobody will accept it. It's unacceptable to Nigerians. And the TUC, what they are pushing for legal right for all Nigerians. Let all Nigerians come together and protest against the government for introducing another levy, because it will not stand. For like what we have said earlier, definitely all the prices in the market will increase in the near future.
Not near future.
No, not near future. Immediately. Because this is the nature of Nigerians.
Because Nigerians believe this has gone into act.
Yes. But what I think, what government should do is not to introduce another levy. Let them fight corruption. Let them block the leakages in the government. Let them reduce the wastages in the government. So I think so this is the better thing, this is the priorities they have to prioritize. It's not to introduce another levies. For example now, if government block the leakages, it will mop a lot of money. Nobody is against the tax reform bill. If you read the tax reform bill, there's a lot of good things about the tax reform bill. NTA, NTAA, and the tax revenue establishment bill, all of them, if you read them, they are very good policies. But our issue in Nigeria is not good policies. Nigeria, we are very good in formulating policies. But our fundamental problem or our major problem is what? Implementing the policies. I think so let government wait and see until January 1st when these policies will be implemented. When the policies implemented, we will see the impact of these policies on the economy and on the population, so that another levies in the near future will be introduced.
Okay. If you just joined us, it is the press, and I have my guest in-house. We started out this caution this morning on the topic economic wickedness. TUC threatening strike over proposed 5% tax petroleum products by the federal government. We'll take a short break to breathe, and when we return, the phone lines will be open. So please make sure you're ready to call in and be part of the conversation. Stay with us. Yes, welcome back. It is still the press, and this discussion is still on. My guests are still here, but the difference is that the phone lines are now open, so you can call in and be part of the conversation as we take a look at economic wickedness as TUC threatens strike over proposed 5% tax on petroleum products. The phone lines are open, so you can call in and be part of the conversation. If you just joined us, the Trade Union Congress of Nigeria, TUC, has issued a 14 days ultimatum to the federal government to withdraw, to cancel the 5% tax on petroleum products, saying, you know what, they need to be aware of the pressure on Nigerians in terms of the economic hardship that we're going through, and of course a lot of other issues that we face as Nigerians, that this is definitely not the right time for such to just pop up. Especially a 5% tax on petroleum products. And my guests this morning have all agreed of the implication on the Nigerian. Like Paul said, the tax is on is a tax on our survival and our standard of living, and nothing more, nothing less. So please call in and be part of the conversation. We have our first caller this morning, or we just lost a call. Please call in. Call in to be part of the conversation. We'll take your call once you call in again. So, Paul, we've opened the phone line so guests from the other side can call in and be part of the conversation. All right, let us take that first call this morning. Good morning.
Hello, good morning.
What's your name, please, and where are you calling from?
This is Lamin from Niger.
From Niger. Laura, please go ahead.
The only advice I can give to the federal government, he said, formerly we are buying for 190 naira per liter. and this fuel now increased to 900 and something naira per litre. The poor masses are suffering. And now you want to introduce another 5% tax. And even the civil servants, let us start from the civil servants that are earning salary, their take home cannot
take them home.
Anything. A retiree who retire from service, who is earning 18,000, 20,000 per month, what is the value? And this is maybe the civil servant, there's no accommodation, he's living in rented house, he will pay house rent, pay light bill, pay water rate, and take care of the children. You see, it's a problem in this country. And another nutshell that I realized there is that what of the poor masses that are not even taking anything. You will see, because with my experience in Niger State, I've seen a lot of civil servants who have lost their lives. They cannot meet up the family problem. The wife side family, you will take care of it. The husband family, you will take care of it. Your own children, you will take care of it. So, I know Baba Tinubu is always listening to poor masses. He should consider what is happening to the civil servants, the poor masses, and the retirees, mostly the retirees. So somebody who is earning maybe 15, 20,000, you are expecting him to pay school children and other things. That is how you see somebody who supposed to spend up to 100 years in age because of sickness and other. He doesn't spend more than 60, 70. Please, Baba Tinubu should consider and look to the poor masses.
Thank you so much. That's our first call from Niger State. Already the Nigerians are speaking out and calling on Tinubu, the president, of course, the government, under him to consider Nigerians at this time. I know it's not going to be easy on Nigerians, but we just hope that whatever message has been sent out today gets across. Now, Paul, how important is it for the federal government to actually appear to feel the heartbeat of Nigerians in the nation? Before you answer that call, let us give a chance to another caller this morning. Good morning. What's your name, please, and where are you calling from?
Good morning. My name is Calvin, calling from Delta State.
Oh, thank you, Calvin. Where exactly in Delta State are you calling?
Warri, to be precise.
Oh, area. How you doing now? That happens to be my state, and I come from Warri also. Thanks for calling on the show. So, Calvin, go ahead. What's your contribution this morning?
First of all, after this 5% petroleum tax and the products initiated by the federal government from 1st of January, I still have other concerns when it comes to this personal income tax. I still find it hard that most persons are not talking about it, because first of all, if you say you are taxing Nigerians, I think it should be 20% or 15% thereabouts. If you earn over 800,000, if I'm correct. So, is it like we borrow this money from the federal government? Because in these banks, interest rate is about 20%, if I'm right, if you're lending money from them. So why would the federal government deduct 15% to 20%, I think some cases 25% annually from people's earning? I don't still get how the tax is going, the personal income tax is going to work. Like myself, I pay tax from the company I work. Then you will still tax me with the money in my account.
That's double taxation. You're talking about double taxation.
No, something.
Thank you so much, Calvin. So we've had 2 calls. So let me direct the question back to you again. The importance of any government feeling the pulse of their people before taking drastic decisions that will affect them on the long run.
Government is saying government is broke. Most Nigerians are broke. The poverty rate in Nigeria is almost 40% of Nigeria are living below the poverty line. Now, what the government's opinion is now to tax the poor, tax the Nigerians to make government rich. It's like robbing Peter to pay Paul.
Yes.
You know, you can't tax us to increase your revenue. Now, the caller from Delta State just spoke about the personal income tax, which is with borrowing ideas from advanced other democracies, other countries that have a lot of social infrastructure for their people to survive. There's almost free healthcare or near free healthcare. The education is cheap for nationals, but it's not the same in Nigeria. Everything in Nigeria is high, and then you start taxing, looking for ways to. It is government needs to listen to the pulse of the people. Now, this tax on petroleum products, this is not the first time it was being introduced. It was introduced under a FEMA Act some years ago,
Yes.
but it wasn't never implemented. I think the federal government should listen to the crowd of Nigeria and postpone this initiative until the right structures are in place. You know, of course, the Act, the Tax Administration Act, gives the Minister of Finance the liberty on when to start implementation. This is the time to listen to us, Nigeria. The time is not right. Let people have trust in you that you are accountable for us. The money that we have gotten through the subsidy, if we've gotten anything, let it be put to use. Let the life increase. Let the poverty, inflation is almost over 20% or about 20% now. Nigerians are suffering. The government needs to listen to us.
Okay, let's take another call. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Yes, what's your name, please, and where are you calling from?
Okay, I do from Port Harcourt.
Oh, Ade, thanks for calling all the way from Port Harcourt this morning. Please go ahead with your contribution.
Well done.
Thank you.
I'll be your guest. Well done.
Thank you.
I'm not to blame federal government. I blame labor union.
Why?
Did they remove this? Yes. Why is that? Did they remove the fuel subsidy? There's no too much agreement. That was everybody is suffering like this. Did they remove the subsidy before they remove fuel subsidy removal? So okay, let this refinery work. Let our this work. But they fight for their own. Now we are fighting for their own. The problem is called the fight you back. Not that you are doing something. You do everything like everything. Even though your salary they increase. How do you do that? You pay the house. You do pay anything for the house. You do pay your rent. You do pay your bag of rice. You better leave the fresh subsidy as it did before to pay it, to make it achieve. Now see our this everyday borrow. So every day want to borrow, they say nothing concerns they borrow it now there. Now everybody is paying the tax now back. It's everybody. They say when they borrow it, that's their concern. It concerns everybody now. That's all those small tax is full everywhere. Fine, you can do tax, very fine. Then why can't you create job? See a lot of something about this for back on for worry. No one company is working. What's the sense? Maybe everybody has something to do. You can remove that. You cannot even check it for body. There's nobody. There's no work. Nothing is moving. And then renew. How long everybody can cool down say this thing should be better? Until everybody die finish, before the country is better. Everything. That's what is our major issue for this country. Now this is a petroleum issue now. They want to add money again for the 5%. How do you make it? The first subsidy there's no pay. If you go hospital now, no way you pay a lot of money. Life bill, everything. How do you make it? How long will everyone you suffer it here for this for Buhari? Now another almost 10 years. You won't kill everybody.
That's the big question. They won't kill everybody. That's the question. I can feel the passion. Oh, please let us take this call again from Calabar before we continue with our discussion in the studio. Maurice Adam from Calabar. Good morning, Maurice.
Very good morning.
Please go ahead. Go ahead.
Please, I always commend this station for highlighting what we are witnessing all over the country.
Thank you.
My conclusion here is that the government, they have succeeded in making everyone poor. so that whatever we see as so-called grants, we will now struggle to get it. You can see recently they talk about international passport increase to 200,000. Where do they want us to go? Above all, there's no price control from the government. In the past, there used to be price control. You go to a certain place, they say this is the amount that you pay. You cannot pay above that. They have completely changed us. We are nothing. In fact, slaves in our country. You see people, some people, you go to hospital, pharmacy, you can't buy drugs. If you are familiar with anybody that has diabetes ailment, you can see that one bottle of insulin today, 2 years ago it was 5,000. Today, as we speak, it's 21,000.
So that is Adam from Calabar says that Nigerians are like slaves in their own nation. Let us come back to the studio now to discuss, to continue with our analysis. We're having lots of calls coming in, but I want to give a chance to you, Umar, to add your own take on the matter on ground. This is definitely ill-timed. You would agree. We do not have much time. The question now is, the question I asked Paul, the time for this government or any government to begin to feel the pulse of Nigerians. Again, that's number one. Number two, do you think coming up with taxes, taxing the poor, as it were, is the solution to the problems that we have on ground? Twofold questions. The pulse of Nigerians, and of course, do you think that this taxes the way to go? Again, the caller that called from Warri actually said, you know what? No, is a guy from Port Harcourt. Give jobs to Nigerians, improve the lives of Nigerians by giving the necessary amenities to them. Then on the long run, when their lives are improved, there will be no need for taxes. I don't know if you agree with all of these, of course, federal government feeling the pulse of Nigerians.
Yes, and before I go to this question, let me refer to that guy who called from Delta or Port Harcourt who discussed about labor union. Because now, because there is no labor union in Nigeria. They are not functional. Because if the labor unions are functional, all these things will not happen. This government has taken Nigerian lives for granted. Because the way the government is dealing with their issues to Nigerians is definitely disturbing. How can you remove subsidy within 2 years and start increasing or introducing another levies on the same Nigerians? What I am saying that if the labor union are functional, all these things will not happen. They will call. I could recall during Jonathan administration, well, Jonathan removed subsidy in 2012. All Nigerians come together, collaborate, and they fought for Jonathan government, and definitely there is a reversal of that decision. But when Tinubu removed subsidy, we see the silence from labor union. They just go there, drink tea there, negotiate with something is not favorable to Nigerians. And now this is the implication. Tinubu government has taken Nigerian for granted and nothing will happen. Secondly, let me come back to this issue. If government is serious about this tax, nobody is worried about the tax. We know we have gone through the tax reform bills. There is a lot of things that are very good in the tax reform bill. But first, let them fight corruption. Fight the corruption, block leakages, create jobs, invest in infrastructure like education, health, transportation, railway, electricity. Because electricity is the backbone of any economic development of any country. There is no electricity. They increase, there is electricity hike tariff. They increase band A from 87 kilowatt to 220 naira per kilowatt. The same government, after removing subsidy, see the way they devalue the naira. look at the inflation figures, look at the unemployment figures, look at the insecurity. All these issues surrounded this government, but still they are concentrating on taxing Nigerians, increasing and imposing another hardship on Nigerians. I think so this is unacceptable, and the Nigerians must rise up to to protect themselves, because this is an issue of survival. It's not issue of governance. It's only issue for survival, because the government are enjoying. They are living in lavish life, luxury life, buying cars, traveling. Look, for example, now Mr. President has traveled 15 times from January to September. 15 times. How many billions was spent on this travel? He traveled 43 times in 2 years. Look at the extra court, maintenance, flight maintenance. Look at the expenses. He abandoned the hospitals, healthcare system in Nigeria, and is going abroad to go and attend another health issues. So I think so definitely Nigerians must rise up, and the labor union must come together and fought for Nigerians. And this fight is not only for labor union, it's a collective responsibility for all of us.
Okay, because of time, Paul, let us begin to wind down. Okay, I have a caller. Let me quickly take that call. Hamza, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Yes, how is Mina this morning?
Yeah, we are doing fine.
So go ahead, Hamza.
I sincerely appreciate you. Yeah, I sincerely appreciate you.
Thank you.
You see, I concluded that the government is so insensitive to Nigerian pressure. They show no concern at all. All they are concerned about is they are winning elections. So sincerely, Nigerians to rise up and save themselves from the calamity we are going into. And let me tell you, the TUC, they should be careful also.
Why? Why should they be careful?
Somebody is trying to do what the federal government could not do by giving Nigerians palliative. And they are asking Dangote that the drivers should join their union, so that at least the pressure will be more, and Nigeria will not enjoy their palliative from here. I advise they should be careful. Nigerians are looking for the palliative the federal government couldn't give.
Thank you so much, Hamza. So, Paul, what's the way forward with all of this? Fine, the TUC has given the federal government 14 days ultimatum. The caller from Port Harcourt and of course Umar have said, you know what, we do not even have a union that is really fighting for the Nigerian people. Fine, we've seen threats by the NLC, the TUC. We've seen threats over the years, but at the end of the day, other Nigerians don't have any trust on these unions. There seem to be this feeling of compromise on their part. They raise so much dust, and when it settles, everyone runs into their hole and it dies there. It is a feeling of 2 steps forward and 20 steps backwards. There seems never to be a solution to these problems. What do we do? As Nigerians, with the call for this 5% tax, what should we do as Nigerians to ensure that we pass the message across to the federal government in this time?
No, there's a trust deficit on every level. Nigerians don't trust the labor unions, organized labor, because sometimes they have failed us. Nigerians don't trust the government because they are not doing well for us right now. So the trust deficit is something that both the unions and the government should try to work on. Let's trust the process. However, I don't think personally strike is the way forward. Yes, because some strike cripples the economy more than the bleeding. The bleeding from the economy when the strike happens may even be as much as the gain that would have gained if that policy was not introduced. So the way forward for me is that the federal government should delay, suspend and postpone the implementation of this proposed tax policy. And then let's look for ways to start ameliorating the problems that Nigerians are facing, the issue of education and all that. Once the right institution are in place, you can't tax Nigerians because they have the economic power then. But when there's no economic power, what you are taxing the poor, you want to kill us, as one person said. So the way forward is a postponement of this whole policy. There could be a sector by sector implementation. Once that sector, obviously government cannot do everything in one day, but if there's some sectors, for instance, let's say for Abuja, for example, you have race working in Abuja, you say, okay, let's in Abuja we start this tax policy here and see how it goes. Instead of a general all-in-one implementation. A face-by-face implementation is what I suggest. A delay and postponement for the time being.
Okay, let us take this call before I go to Umar.
Yes.
Hello, I think we lost the call. Okay, please do call in, so we still have a little bit of time so we can take that. Well, time is never our friend. Umar, what's the way forward? You've heard Paul say, strike sometimes is not the solution to the problem. Again, I would want your take as we round off on our discussion this morning. But let me take a call now. Hello, good morning. What's your name and where are you calling from?
Hello, good morning.
Good morning. Your name, please?
My name is Ademola.
Ademola, where are you calling from?
From Ikorodu, Lagos.
Ooh, Ikorodu. That's Lagos is my city. Okay, Ademola, go ahead.
Yeah, this policy is really very hardship policy. We know how situation it is in Nigeria, how to even cost of the feeding to eat is problem. See all this Yahoo stuff, see issue every day. We see different news, people killing each other. So all these things will just lead to so many hardship in the country. I don't know where this country is heading to. I don't know.
Ademola, thank you so much. Thank you. I feel your pain. So, Umar, what's the way forward? What's the way? Do we go ahead with a strike? What do we tell the federal government? What should we do? What should Nigerians do with this latest proposal by the federal government?
Yes, like what my brother Paul have said, government should suspend this issue because even though before in the act, because the levy, the provision of this levy, it is there in the FEMA Act, Federal Road Management Road Maintenance Agency Act 2007. So, and it is not to, it depends on the Minister of Finance to decide when and where this levy will be applied. So I think so let the government leave the matter and see how they could improve the living standard of the people. Because Nigerians are suffering seriously. We are in a lot of Nigerians, more than 40% of Nigerians, they are living in abject poverty. There is insecurity in the land, especially in the northern Nigeria. A lot of farmers cannot afford to go to farm. You see, there is a lot of more than 10 million out of school children in the northern Nigeria. So there is a lot of things government supposed to concentrate and prioritize, not creating another levy. First, let us see the implication and the impact of this subsidy removal first. Because yes, there's no any impact. When the government removed the subsidy, they created something temporary measures, because palliatives is a temporary measures. It's a temporary measures. People have been given 2 packets of spaghetti, 2 mudu of rice, and all these things. They are temporary. They have gone, and still people are feeling the pain of that removal of the subsidy. So I think so. Government should invest more on infrastructure, invest more on education, health, and social and all social amenities, so that if Nigerians perceive and they see it well, then Nigeria will cooperate with government to take another levies.
Okay, I want to let us take this last call, please. We don't have time anymore. Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
Yeah, what's your name, please, and where are you calling from? What?
Collins.
Okay, Collins from Benue.
Yeah.
Okay, Collins, go ahead. You have just 60 seconds.
If we continue like this, then I happen to see that democracy can just keep it.
Nigeria, or especially in Africa. So we are not looking for anything that will cause havoc in the process. But is it really that our elite, the ruling class, are watching the things that people are going through? Let's look down to my place in Benin now. I don't know whether they take security issues very seriously now. Going to the farm now, you see somebody with his or her cattle in your farm eating all your crops and nothing is done. As of last 2 weeks, the apples and the owner of the keeper, they cut off his hand. Before you should say anything, the whole village was destroyed.
Okay, so that's how much we can take from Collins. So let us do something. Let us do something as we begin to, close today. Nigerians have called in and we've felt their passion. We've felt their pain in their heart. In our dialect, I want us to say, in 30 seconds, we don't even have that time. Let us say something to Nigerians, in our dialect, to Kulu temper. Please go ahead.
In Hausa?
In Hausa, 30 seconds.
What I can, abinda zan iya cewa shine mutane ya kamata su tsaya su fito su kwaci haƙƙinsu a wajen gwamnati don wannan harajin da gwamnati take so ta ƙara haraji ne da take so ta ƙara mutane talauci da tashin hankali a ƙasar nan. Ya kamata gwamnati ta yi ƙoƙari ta janye wannan harajin don a samu zaman lafiya a ƙasar nan.
Please, something initial. Yes.
It will okay sound. My government that's about Lamin, so we still Nema. Ma Mobo Tutu, Ma Mundia. What's another direct Bama? Okay, so that is our show this morning. Please, we advise that we call for calm, in periods like this, as we speak to the federal government to listen to Nigerians, feel the pulse of the nation, and try to feel the pains the Nigerians are going through when they come up with policies or like this, especially one that affects us generally, one that will affect our pockets, one that will affect their home, one that will affect every sector. So it is important that we lend our voices to situations that affect us, and we pray and hope that actions are taken that will be beneficial to Nigerians. Yes, that is the show this morning. I appreciate my guest, Mr. Paul Abhulimen, and of course, Mr. Umar Yalleman for coming, and everyone who called, from all over this country this morning. We appreciate you. Tomorrow is another date on the press. Please ensure that you are part of the conversation till Friday. My name is Anire. Binitie. Enjoy the rest of your day.